The room was filled with the usual political choreography. Cameras lined the walls. Staffers whispered behind folders. Lawmakers shuffled notes they already knew by heart. On paper, it was just another oversight hearing, another day where officials would offer polished responses and move on. But something about the atmosphere felt heavier. There was tension beneath the formal smiles, because behind closed doors, Washington had been whispering about a crisis no one wanted to admit out loud. And in a matter of minutes, one question would drag it into the open. When Mazie Hirono adjusted her microphone and leaned forward, the room grew noticeably quieter. She wasn't angry. She wasn't dramatic. She was calm. And calm questions are often the most dangerous. Across from her sat Kash Patel, confident moments earlier, speaking about national security, law enforcement priorities, and institutional strength. But that confidence would not last. Hirono didn't start with accusations. She started with something simple, almost innocent. How many FBI agents have left in the past year? A pause followed. Not the normal pause of someone thinking, but the pause of someone calculating. Calculating what could be said. Calculating what must not be said. Calculating how much truth would be too much. Because the number wasn't small. It wasn't dozens. It wasn't hundreds. It was thousands. For years, the Federal Bureau of Investigation had projected an image of stability, an elite force, careers that lasted decades, agents proud to serve. That was the story the public knew. But inside the Bureau, something had been quietly unraveling. Veterans were leaving early. Mid-career agents were resigning. Entire departments were bleeding experience. And leadership wasn't talking about it. Hirono pressed again. Are you aware that nearly 5,000 agents have walked away? This time, the silence was louder. Patel shifted in his seat. His eyes dropped to the desk, and for the first time in the hearing, he didn't have a polished answer ready. 5,000. That wasn't a staffing problem. That was a collapse. Those weren't rookies. They were trained investigators, counter-terror specialists, cybercrime experts, organized crime units, people who spent years building intelligence networks, and now they were gone. Former agents would later describe the inside of the Bureau as a slow burnout machine. They spoke of political pressure, constant scrutiny, decisions being overridden from above, investigations delayed, cases redirected. Some said the mission had shifted away from justice and toward appearances. One agent reportedly said, "It stopped being about catching criminals. It became about surviving the bureaucracy." Hirono asked what these losses meant for national safety, for human trafficking cases, for terrorism monitoring, for violent crime investigations. And again, Patel couldn't give a clear response, because the truth was uncomfortable. Field offices were understaffed, case backlogs were growing, new recruits lacked mentorship, some regions were operating at crisis levels. Experts later explained what losing 5,000 agents really meant. Each FBI agent takes years to train, millions of dollars in investment, decades of experience in the field. When they leave, they don't just free up a desk. They take relationships with informants. They take operational knowledge. They take instincts that can't be taught in classrooms. Imagine grounding 5,000 pilots in the middle of a war. The planes still exist, but the people who know how to fly them are gone. That's what was happening inside federal law enforcement, quietly, without press conferences, without emergency declarations. What shocked many observers wasn't just the number, it was how long it had gone unspoken. Why hadn't leadership warned the public? Why hadn't Congress been briefed sooner? Why did it take one senator's question to expose it? Analysts began connecting dots. High-profile resignations, whistleblower complaints, internal memos leaked to reporters, all pointing to a bureau under extreme strain. Morale at historic lows, trust fractured, and political tension bleeding into daily operations. Hirono closed her questioning with a warning. She said, "Institutions don't collapse in explosions. They erode quietly. They lose people. They lose trust. They lose purpose, until one day the damage is too large to hide." The hearing ended, but the story was just beginning. Within minutes, clips flooded social media feeds. Short excerpts raced across platforms, replayed millions of times, slowed down, analyzed frame by frame. Commentators didn't focus on fiery exchanges or raised voices. They focused on the pause, the hesitation, the moment where an answer should have existed and didn't. Pundits called it one of the most revealing moments of the year, not because of shouting, not because of scandal, but because of silence. Silence that confirmed what Washington had spent years carefully avoiding. Silence that revealed an agency in quiet freefall. Silence that forced the public to confront a reality far more unsettling than any headline. Because when powerful institutions go quiet, it's rarely because everything is fine. It's because the truth has become too heavy to carry. That silence raised terrifying questions. If thousands of agents could vanish without public alarm, what else had been unraveling behind closed doors? Which major investigations quietly stalled due to lack of manpower? Which dangerous networks gained breathing room while resources disappeared? Which warnings were buried under paperwork, delays, and internal politics? Which threats were downgraded, not because they weren't real, but because there weren't enough people left to chase them? Former officials began speaking anonymously. They described offices that once buzzed with activity, now running on skeleton crews. Phones ringing, unanswered. Case files stacking higher by the week. Veteran mentors gone, leaving new recruits navigating crises without guidance. Some units reportedly merged simply to stay operational. Others quietly shut down. Not announced, not explained, just absorbed into the system and forgotten. Security analysts warned that losing experienced agents doesn't just slow justice, it creates blind spots. Every agent who leaves takes years of intelligence knowledge with them, patterns they've memorized, networks they've infiltrated, threats they understand before they even surface. When that experience disappears, danger doesn't. It multiplies. And what disturbed the public most wasn't just the number, it was how easily it had stayed hidden. No emergency press briefings, no national discussions, no transparent updates. Just a slow leak of human capital while leaders spoke of stability, while officials praised efficiency, while the public believed protection was stronger than ever. That single unanswered question shattered the illusion. It revealed that behind the confident speeches and official reports, a core pillar of national security was quietly eroding. Not collapsing in flames, but fading in silence. Trust began to crack. If this had been hidden, what else was being softened, delayed, or reworded for public consumption? How many other manageable challenges were actually full-blown crises? How many institutions were being held together by press releases instead of reality? Experts compared it to watching a dam develop invisible fractures. From a distance, everything looks solid, but pressure builds. Water seeps in, and one day, without warning, the structure fails. Not because of one dramatic moment, but because of years of quiet neglect. And now, the public was finally seeing the cracks. The loss of thousands of agents wasn't just a staffing issue, it was a warning sign, a signal of burnout, of institutional strain, of a system struggling to hold itself together while projecting strength. The silence in that hearing room became symbolic. It represented every unspoken concern, every internal memo brushed aside, every resignation that never made the news, every crisis quietly managed instead of honestly confronted. One calm question had done what months of reports couldn't. It forced reality into the open. And once exposed, it couldn't be folded back into closed-door discussions. Because the public was watching now, listening, connecting dots, demanding answers. And the truth became impossible to ignore. Institutions don't fail when critics shout. They fail when protectors quietly leave. They fail when experience drains away. They fail when truth is replaced with careful language. They fail when silence becomes policy. Because when those tasked with defending the country start walking away in record numbers, it's never random. It's a signal that something deeper is breaking. And when that breaking finally surfaces, the impact reaches far beyond one hearing room, far beyond one agency, far beyond one unanswered question. This wasn't just a political moment. It was a warning, a glimpse behind the curtain, a reminder that national security doesn't erode with explosions. It erodes with exits, with burnout, with silence. And now that silence had spoken louder than any speech ever could. The story wasn't over. It was only beginning.